Hello friends, welcome to our channel. Today I am going to discuss with you about the secrets behind Lal Bahadur Shastri's death. In the previous video I have already discussed with you a short biography of Shri Lal Bahadur Shastri, our second Prime Minister's life. Lal Bahadur Shastri became the Prime Minister of India in 9th June 1964 after our first Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru's death on 27th May 1964. Under Shastri's leadership, India faced and repulsed the Pakistani invasion of 1965. It is not only a matter of pride for the Indian Army but also for every citizen of the country. His slogan Jai Jawan Jai Kishan reverberates even today through the length and breadth of the country. The war of 1965 was fought and won for our self-respect and our national prestige. For using our defense forces with such admirable skill, the nation remains beholden to Shri Lal Bahadur Shastri. He will be remembered for all times to come for his large-heartedness and public service. Now let us come to the point. After the Indo-Pak War in 1965, Lal Bahadur Shastri travelled to Tashkent to sign an agreement that would formally end the war on 10th January 1966. But one day later he was found dead. It was alleged that he died of a heart attack, but the circumstances seemed extremely suspicious. Generations have gone by, but conspiracy theories about what caused Shastriji's death have not ceased. In other countries, the strange case of a Prime Minister death would have been inquired into by a high-powered team long ago and all relevant documents placed in the public domain. But in India, this thing did not happen. After signing the Tashkent Accord around 4 p.m. on January 10th, Prime Minister Shastriji reached the villa he was provided by his Russian host. Late in the evening, he had a light meal prepared by Jan Muhammad, the personal cook of T.N. Kaul, the Indian ambassador to Moscow. There were other Russian butlers at his service in the same villa. At 11:30 p.m., Shastriji had a glass of milk brought by the ambassador's cook. When his personal staff took leave of him, at that time he was fine. But around 1:25 a.m. on January 11th, Shastriji woke up coughing severely. The room he was in had no phone or no intercom. So he walked out to another room to tell his staff to inform his personal doctor R.N. Chug. By the time Dr. Chug arrived, Shastriji was dying. The symptoms were of a heart attack. There was not much Dr. Chug could do now. He began to cry. Babuji, you did not give me enough time. Shastriji took Lord Ram's name and he was gone. At 4 a.m., Ahmad Satarov, the Russian butler attached to Shastriji, was rudely woken up by an officer of the 9th Directorate of the KGB. The KGB was responsible for the safety of VIPs. In Satarov's own words, the KGB officers said that they suspected that the Indian Prime Minister had been poisoned. Satarov was handcuffed and along with 3 junior butlers was rounded off to a location 30 km away. Their harsh interrogation commenced in a dungeon. After some time, Jan Muhammad was brought in. In Satarov's words, he thought whatever he thought, he spoke out. We thought that it must have been that man who poisoned Shastri. Decades after the harrowing interrogation he was subjected to, Satarah continued to reel under its impact. We were so nervous that the hair on the temple of one of my colleagues turned grey before our eyes, and ever since I stutter. When Shastriji's body was brought to Delhi, no one had any clue about what the KGB was suspecting. But seeing strange blue patches on Shastriji's body, his mother screamed that someone had poisoned her son. Mera bitwa ko zahar de diya. The old woman's wail continues to haunt the Shastriji's family till now. Shastri's son Anil and Shunil Shastri, one in Congress, another in BJP, and grandsons Sanjay and Siddharth Nath Singh have often spoken about their ongoing anguish and pain about what happened so long ago. Shastriji's wife Lalita ji died thinking that her husband had been poisoned. Other family members and near and dear ones like childhood friend T.N. Singh and close follower Jagdish Kodesia were not able to make sense of the cut marks on Shastriji's stomach and back of the neck. The cut on his neck was pouring blood, and the sheets, pillows, and clothes used by him were all soaked in blood. Back in 1966, the family sought clarification and action from the government. Whatever was done did not satisfy them. Kodesia, a former Delhi Congress chief, even began to think that Shastriji's death had some link to the Netaji mystery. Veteran journalist Kuldeep Nair, who was in Tashkent on that fateful day as Shastri's advisor, opened up recently to state that his suspicions were aroused some time after the tragedy, when a member of parliament ranked up the charges of poisoning, and T.N. Kaul, by then the foreign secretary, rang him up to issue a statement against it. Jan Mohammed was employed in the Rashtrapati Bhavan after the Tashkent tragedy. Dr. Chugh, his wife, and two sons were run over by a truck in 1977. Only Dr. Chugh's daughter survived, but was crippled. The only sure short way to find out whether or not Shastriji was poisoned was to carry out a post-mortem on his body. The family demanded it, but the demand was not accepted. Interim Prime Minister Gulzarilal Nanda was to later on feign ignorance about Shastri's family approaching him with the demand. It's very strange to find out that only one classified document relating to Prime Minister Shastriji's death was available, and there was no record of any destruction or loss of any document relating to the tragedy. It seems that no one bothered about his death. The Minister of External Affairs refused to release any information, pleading that doing so would harm national interest. It was only after the intervention of a Chief Information Commissioner, Satyananda Mishra, that the MEA in August 2011 supplied copies of Dr. Chug's medical report and a copy of the statement made by the External Affairs Minister in the Rajya Sabha. Neither of them was classified. There was no word about the secret documents. Mishra upheld the PMO's decision in withholding the single secret record with it. This record contained a conspiracy theory that the Americans had spread rumors about foul play in Shastriji's death. Anyhow, today there must be several classified records about Shastriji's death in the non-accessible archives of our intelligence agencies. The Russians will have interrogation records of the butlers at least. In the fullness of time, all of that must come out. Perhaps time has come for Shastriji's family to seek an appointment with the Prime Minister. So Jai Hind, Jai Jawan, Jai Kishan. Thanks for being with me all the time. And please give a like and subscribe to my channel, friends. If you like my channel, please give a like and subscribe.